Hi everybody, welcome back to another one of my console DayZ server modding videos, and in this one I'm going to show you how to do a couple of things. I'm going to show you how to make things spawn in Pristine, and I'm also going to show you how to make it so that when your guns spawn in, they all spawn in with a magazine in them as well. And in order to do this, we're going to be looking at a file called the CFG spawnable types.xml file. Now, in the description below this video, I'm going to do a link to this document on the DayZ wiki about the central loot economy, because as we go through these videos, the central loot economy and how it works and having an understanding of that will really help you going forward. Now, it's not too complicated, and don't worry about everything, because you can just kind of do a painting by numbers approach to this, where basically you do what I tell you to do and the stuff will work. But if you want to get into some of the more advanced stuff, having a background in this can be really good. So first things first, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a copy of the vanilla files. This is always a good idea. So I'll put a link to this in the description below the video. So this is Bohemia Interactive, the people behind DayZ. This is one of their GitHubs, and you can download the all the vanilla files. So these are all the original files for the current version of DayZ, and we're kind of going to use those as a backup in case we cock things up as well. And then you'll also want to have on your computer, you want to have set up a basic file system. So here we go. So on mine I've got a DayZ projects folder, and within it I've got the 115 vanilla files, where we've got all those as kind of a backup, and then I've got my 115 mod tutorial. So when I do these videos, this is where I can put the XMLs, and we're going to use the download folder as well on our computers as kind of a backup. So if you want to get hold of the CFG spawnable types, if you just go to your server, if you go to the web interface for your server, and then you go to the file browser for your server, and you go into the missions folder, it'd be XB missions or PS missions on PlayStation. On PC, it's just missions, but you've got to dig down a little bit further, because obviously all these techniques work for PC just as well as console. Go into Churnerus Plus if it's a Churnerus folder. Livonia will be Enoch, it will say. And then straight away in this directory, we want the CFG spawnable types. So there it is, CFG spawnable types.xml, and you want to click that little download button. That will then download that to our downloads folder on our computer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there, but I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go over to my mod tutorials, and I'm going to paste it in here, because this is the file we're going to be working on. I'm just going to get rid of the 2. So it's just CFG spawnable types.xml. And we're going to edit it here. This way, if we make a mistake and we need to go back to the original, we've still got the original in downloads. We'll just have to rename it to CFG spawnable types without the 2, because there must be another copy of it down here. And we've also got in documents, we know that we've got the vanilla files in here. If we go into Churnerus Plus, we've got CFG spawnable types there, so that's the original one there. And then you also want to have downloaded and have access to Notepad++. I should have done that as well, shouldn't I? So Notepad++. This is a free program that you can download that's better than Notepad on your computer. And when you've got that downloaded and installed, if we just right click on CFG spawnable types, edit with Notepad++, and here we are inside our XML file. Now, CFG spawnable types.xml is a really powerful file, and what this file does is that when an object, when a thing spawns in on the map, because it's told to by the game, told to kind of by the types.xml file, the CFG spawnable types tells the game what should spawn with it. So, for example, what do I mean by that? Well, so for example, if an assault bag TTSCO spawns in, or an assault, it's probably easier to read that one. If an assault bag black spawns in, it will spawn in inside the bag this cargo items, so mix armies. So if you then go look at the file that's CFG random presets, and you were to look for mix army, let's copy that. Let's do a Control F. We can see that the preset mix army includes all these things, so ammo, food, and some drinks. So it does that. Also, if we keep going down, so here we go. So you can see hunting bags. They spawn in with a preset called Food Village, Tools Industrial, or Mix Hunter. So you know when you find a bag and it's got stuff in it, that's because of the CFG spawnable types. That it's telling the game what presets to spawn in with it, and the CFG random presets are the actual things. If we keep going down, within ammo boxes, for example, it's given all the chances of the ammo spawning in. Here's another one. So the airborne mask, so with the gas masks, you can see that it's telling when an airborne mask spawns in, give it a 0.2 chance of spawning in with the gas mask filter, which I think will be 20%. Let's keep going down. What other stuff have we got? There's so much in this file. It's so good. Here we go. So zombies. So when zombies spawn in, within their their pockets, they'll spawn in with the preset Food Village or Tools Village, and the attachments Glasses Village, Hats Farm, and Bags Village. So again, if we were to hunt through CFG random presets, we could see what that could possibly be. And if we keep going down, gift boxes. There's the vehicles, so it's telling what things should spawn on the vehicle. So the tyres, the wheels, all that sort of stuff. What should spawn that way, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very powerful file. Now, what we want to do to start off with is we want to make things spawn in pristine, and that's this file here. So here we go. So your file will probably look like this. This is what a vanilla CFG spawnable types file looks like. It says damage min 0.3, damage max 0.7. So it's telling the game, it's telling the server.exe, it's saying, look, when you spawn an item in, one of these items in, or any items in actually, they should have between 0.3 and 0.7 damage. Now 1 damage would be completely ruined, and 0.1 damage would be pristine. So if you want everything to spawn in on your server pristine, I would change it to damage min 0.1, max 0.2, and then everything will spawn in pristine. Now the big advantage of that is things just last longer. So when you pull on a pair of trousers and you get attacked by a zombie, they don't go to ruined as fast. Guns last longer. It's a more friendly sort of environment for your server. So that's the first thing to do. Now we also mentioned about guns, didn't we? And having them spawn in with magazines. So if we scroll down past all this stuff, we're looking for the weapons. Keep going, keep going. There's all the zombies. Keep going, more zombies. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So here we've got the start of the zombies. So we've got the Makarov, the Mark II, the CZ75, the Glock 15, the FNX 45, the CZ61, the MP5K submachine gun. If we just start off with the Makarov though, so the way that it works is each statement opens with something that says type. So type name equals Makarov IG70. So the item that's spawning in is a Makarov IG70. And each statement ends with a closing tag. So the opening tab kind of looks like that, the top purple bit, and the closing tab ends like that with that slash there. These green bits here that have got angle brackets, exclamation mark, dash dash, end of zombies, dash dash, arrow, closing angle bracket, they're just remarks. But if we look inside the Makarov type, we can see that it says attachments chance equals 0.6, so 60%. It should spawn with a 60% chance of the Mag IJ78 round. So it's basically saying when a Makarov spawns in on your map, it should have a 60% chance of spawning in with a magazine. So if we just change this to 1.00, every single Makarov that spawns in on our server will spawn in with a magazine, and you can go down like this, just very carefully changing whatever it says, to 1.00. Now at this point, don't change any of the other stuff. We're just really interested in the magazines. I mean, I guess you could change some of the other stuff. Just be careful, okay, as you're going through. So CZ75, I'll skip a couple. Let's go down to, say, the MP5K. This is good example. The MP5K submachine gun. So when you start getting into the submachine guns and the assault rifles, they have lots of bits on them, don't they? You've got like a stock, you've got a handguard, you've got a scope, you've got all this other stuff you can put on. And if we look for the magazine, it's there. So you can see the opening argument or the opening statements. Attachment chance equals 0.03. So a 30% chance of spawning in. But we've actually got two magazines here. So it's saying that there's the 15 round MP5 mag and the 30 round MP5 mag. And if you notice, for both of them, it gives you a chance of 0.5, which is 50%. So as a whole, if you find an MP5K on this server at the moment, there's a 30% chance it'll have a mag on it. And there's a 50% chance, if it does have a mag, it'll either be the 15 round or the 30 round. So what we could do is we could delete that line there for the 15 round, and then we could change that chance to 1.00, and then we could change that to 1. So now what we've done is we're saying with every single MP5K that spawns in on our server, it will spawn in with a 30 round magazine. Now the same goes around for these other things as well. So here we have attachments chance for the optics. There's two ways we could do this. We could either delete all of these options and just choose one option and have, say, for example, the Buis optic chance equals 1.00 and the attachment chance to 1.00. Or if we actually add these up, so you've got 1, 3, 5, 7, 10. If we add all those up, we can see they add up to 1. So one of the things you might want to do to mix things up still on your server, with the optics, we could go attachment chance equals 1.00, but then leave the rest, because we know that there will always be a chance that one of these is going to spawn in on that server, on that gun, but it's going to be one of these. So if people pick up MP5Ks, they're either going to have an ACOG on them, a reflex, the M68 optic, or the Buis optic. And so that, you know, it mixes things up. It makes things interesting. It means that every single MP5K that people pick up isn't always the same. And that's why I kind of recommend don't really go through and change everything to 1.00. You know, you want a little bit of variety as you're going down. So here's the UMP45. So again, we would change attachment chance to 1.00 because there's only one magazine. And so they'll all spawn in now with 25 round mags. There's the VSSS, or the VSS. So if we change that to 1.00, and so on and so forth. So you can go down and you can go through and you can change all of the attachments tags next to the magazine to 1.00, and then every single gun that spawns in will spawn in with the mag. Now, as you're doing this, the beauty of using Notepad++ is that if you make a mistake, you will probably see it. So let's say, let's go back to, this was 0.3, say, for example. 0.3 like that. Let's say, as I was deleting this, and I put in 1.00, see, I've deleted the closing exclamation mark. And if you look, you can see the colour has now changed on Mag VSS 10 round. And that's because it's actually the closing exclamation mark for this argument is actually down here now. And that's the beauty of using Notepad++, because it means you can just, if you then put the exclamation mark back, the quotation mark back, the colours go back to normal. So that's why Notepad++ is so important, because it enables you to really see where you make a mistake and you press something and it changes colour. You're like, oh, wait a minute, that's different colour now. What have I done wrong? And you can go back and do things like that. So when we were happy doing that, what we would then do is we would then save that. That's in my master file, isn't it? So I don't really want to save that. But let's say we were working on this file, which is in mod. So we would save the changes we would done like that. And then we would go back to our server. And in the DayZ Offline Generous Plus, we could then upload the file. So you click upload, go to the DayZ projects, go to the folder where it is, click on that and upload it. And then you would restart your server, and then the changes would then start to take effect. Now just remember that the economy on your server is slowly chundering over. So things don't change straight away. So if you've got a running server which was previously spawning in items that weren't pristine and guns without everyone without a magazine, when you change the CFG spawnable types, it's only the new stuff that's going to start spawning in pristine, and the new guns that are spawning in that are going to spawn in with magazines. The old stuff is going to take a while to disappear, and how long it takes to disappear really depends on your server. The more people who are on your server, so the server is operating all the time, the quicker it will happen. It will happen because what happens with your server is when the last person logs off, the server goes to sleep. I will do a video showing you how to extend that time so that when your last person logs off, the server keeps going for a while, so you can make it so changes will happen faster when things like that. But always have patience when it comes to changing things like this on your central loot economy on your server. Just because things don't start changing straight away, don't panic. And especially with things like the guns, like the M4A ones, the rare assault rifles, it could take quite a while for someone to actually find one. And then to notice, oh yeah, it has got a gun on, it has got a magazine, or it has got a suppressor on. So patience is golden. The test that you can always do, obviously, to make sure things are working when you've done something like this, is you can validate your files using the XML validator that we've talked about already. Just be aware that on CFG spawnable types, it will give you the false positives on the remarks that are further down. But one thing that I always do is, if I've uploaded a new CFG spawnable types or any of the types, is I'll spawn into the server on my PlayStation or Xbox, and I'll run around and I'll look to see if anything's spawning in anyway. Are there objects on the server? When you go into a house, is there some trousers or something? And are there zombies as well? If you notice that, after 10 minutes of running around there are no zombies and you can't find anything spawning in on the ground, chances are something's gone wrong. So you can always go back, you can validate your files, see where the mistakes are, and then start again. But that's why you've got that spare copy in your download, so you can go back to that one. And then you've also got the vanilla files ready to go, so you can just go back to a vanilla file if you like from within the original ones from Bohemia Interactive. So there we go. Hopefully you found that video useful, showing you how to make items spawn in pristine and how to change it so that every gun spawns in with a magazine. If you found it useful, hit like. If you want to see more, then press subscribe. And remember, if you've got any questions at all, please let me know in the comment section below the video, because that's what drives the content for this channel. It enables me to think, oh right, yeah, that's a great question. Even if you think this is a question nobody else will have asked, I guarantee if you're thinking it, there's hundreds if not thousands of people thinking about the same thing. Brilliant. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.